Oh, it's that time of year. That's like, look, Mark's smiling in this. He's enjoying this. What? Best 11, Mark, Pope, Stupinian, Martinez, Saliba, Trippier, De Bruyne, Rodri, Odegaard, Grealish, Haaland, Saka. Let's get the obvious ones out the way. Harry Kane scored 30 goals for Spurs, Mark.
Yeah, but having just said he'd be a really good partner for Erling Haaland, I couldn't put him into my team next to Erling Haaland. I mean, look, Saka's had a brilliant season with Arsenal, superstar, and I think Grealish as well at City. He's had a great season as well. You can't pick everybody. Harry Kane will be the centre forward in the team that plays against this best team. So the second best team, he's the captain.
Oh, he prepared that. He knew that was coming.
Well, he knew this was coming because you cannot leave Harry Kane off this team.
Yep.
And frankly, I would go as far as to say I don't know how you leave Marcus Rashford off this team either.
Okay.
But if I'm going to stick with Harry Kane for a second, this was as impressive a season as Harry Kane has had at Spurs. And I don't care about the numbers of goal itself. It's just if Harry Kane were not with Spurs, what would this team have achieved this season? Where would they be without Harry Kane? He was everything to them and has been everything to them for a while. But in particular this season, I think he was as good this season as we have ever seen Harry Kane with his playmaking ability, with his goal scoring, with his movement of the ball. Any sort of productive movement that happened in the attack for Spurs had to go through Harry Kane, and that's it, because there was nobody else playing for Spurs that could do the job.
I think everyone... Mark, you would agree Harry Kane should be there, Franco, assume?
Yes, of course. But
Yes.
As Mark said, you pick Haaland. It's hard to put Kane instead of Haaland as well. He would have put Kane. He would have said, why we don't see Haaland? That's the thing, But let's talk, Stevie, about Martinez, please. I want to hear Stevie about Martinez.
Alessandro Martinez, who is in centre-back. Stevie, do you agree? No, you should be there.
Yeah, right. When I opened my email and I saw the team and I saw him there, first of all, I thought, somebody's put him up to this for a laugh.
Right.
And then I realised that they hadn't. And within 5 seconds, I'd pulled out 5 players who I think are better.
Wait, do you want to see your list? Steve made a list.
Oh, this took me 5 seconds.
Right.
Okay,
there we
that's
go.
quick thinking.
Yeah.
that's more than normal.
John Stones, Botman, Shah and Diaz. Newcastle and Man City. Absolutely the 2 best defences in the Premier League by a long margin.
Right.
You can't play him ahead of any of these 4. And I would play Lewis Dunk ahead of him as well.
Right.
I mean, seriously, Lewis Dunk is as good with the ball at his feet. And he has to be because he's playing with Brighton. So it comes down to defensive situations. Now, who would you rather mark at a set piece? Would you rather mark Lewis Dunk, who's 6'4", or would you rather mark Martinez, who's 5'9"?
Oh, the height's back in again. The height's back in.
It's a factor.
The size
It's
is.
absolutely a factor.
No,
So
but you just
as I
ask
said-
Stevie. Just ask if the owner or the coach of Manchester City and the coach of Manchester United, if they have the choice between Diaz and Martinez, who would they go for?
Who do they go with?
I'm pretty sure they would agree to go for Diaz, whatever.
Can I have a word
Mark,
on
you
this
have
one?
the floor.
Right, OK. So first of all, John Stones is playing midfield now, so you can take him off the list. So he's not. So even Pep doesn't play him at centre-half. So
Oh,
there you go.
yeah,
That was
he's
true.
played midfield, yeah, right.
Yeah, well,
No, he's
he
played
can't
2
get him out.
positions. And that's another reason, by the way. That's another reason he's picked him. Because not only is he playing centre-back, he's playing in midfield as well.
Got some of that shot playing there.
Pep's playing the Kanji ahead of him at centre-half. The reason I picked Martinez is because he has made his team so much better by being there. This time last season, United were an absolute mess at centre-half. They had Harry Maguire and Lindelof, Eric Bailly, Phil Jones played a couple of games. Martinez has come in and he's transformed that defence with his communication, with his tenacity, with his desire to win. And obviously, they really missed in the last 2 months of the season. So I take your point. There have been defenders who've performed really well this season. But for me, where United are right now, they wouldn't be without Martinez because he's transformed that team. He's transformed the defence, the organisation he's brought. So, he's had a good season. He's won the World Cup as well. So I think we give that an extra gold star.
No, it's a Premier League 11. Don't start.
All right, we won't mention how bad he was at Anfield. We won't mention that.
Our
one.
producer went through the stats, actually,
Yeah.
Mark, to see if you had any sort of support when it comes to taking a look at how he performed to others. You don't.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So
Oh, no.
I'm not having stats. You can't have stats all the time. It's all about what you see as well, isn't it? Because listen, stats. Come on. It's what you see on the pitch.
Hey,
That's it.
if that was your defense, we need a little bit more.
Hold on, the cricket.
I've given you my
that
defence
crickets?
of Martinez. I've given you 7 different reasons why he should play. But, you know.
Hey, Lisandro Martinez wasn't even the best Manchester United defender this season.
Oh.
No. I think Luke Shaw was better than Lisandro Martinez and more important to this team than Lisandro Martinez was. So
Is Mark clapping you?
no, I don't think so.
If I'd
Where's
put
Luke
Luke
Shaw,
Shaw in that
Mark?
team, I'd have been... What's that, guys?
Okay, now, what about Rashford, though? Ali made a good point. Without Rashford, United aren't in the top 4.
Yeah, but I don't know where you put Rashford in that front 3. I mean, he's behind Harry Kane, so that's 5th choice. Listen, Marcus Rashford had a brilliant 3 months. He didn't have a brilliant season. He had a brilliant 3 or 4 months. So, and when he stopped scoring goals, Man United tailed off. So I think, yes, he's out. You're gonna probably throw back at me that said that United should have sold Marcus Rashford. So it's not a vendetta against Marcus Rashford, but I do think at times he's a moments player rather than a player that will define games and dictate games. I think he has flashes in games, but I still don't think he's not in the same league as Haaland or Kane or Saka or these players. I think Rashford needs more consistency, but he's had a great 3 or 4 months. Let's see a great season.
Are you happy with Grealish, Stevie?
Personally, I would have played. I would have picked Martinelli.
Oh, would you really?
Had a choice, yeah. 15 goals, plus what he does defensively. You can't argue with that.
I don't think Frank's not clapping that one.
Don't get me wrong, Grealish has played well, but he's got 5 goals.
Right.
5, and a team that has so much of the ball that it's absolutely frightening. So I'm not saying he hasn't had a good season, but I would absolutely have had Martinelli in front of him.
You know that you don't have to play a 4-3-3 in this team,
Yeah,
right?
you can change the way you play.
You can have Haaland and Kane up top, right?
Yeah, of course.
And
To be honest,
Either way, I would have had Martinelli.
if I'm changing that left-sided player, I'd put more Salah in there. Because I think Salah's been brilliant this season again, but he's had his ups and downs. But I still think but again, you can only pick 3. I can't pick 13.
What about
Salah
Silva?
Martinelli ahead of
You like
Salah.
Martinelli, don't you?
I would have Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, and not Odegaard.
Thank you.
Right.
In place of Odegaard, actually.
Really?
Yeah. We fell in love with Arsenal early part of the season, middle part of the season, but then when it came down to it, to the real clutch part, when you needed results, then all of a sudden you're not getting the same level of performance. And so you're getting Gundogan, who's flying with Manchester City. You're getting a high level of performance that you cannot tell me right now that Gundogan does not deserve to be in this team or Bernardo Silva does not deserve to be in this team if we evaluate what they were able to do over the last 6 weeks of the season.
Frank, I've got a note here that you wanted Bernardo Silva over Saka.
Well, without thinking that Saka didn't have a good season, but just for the point of Ali, when you needed the most Saka or Martinelli, we didn't see them that much. Where Odegaard, and I agree with Mark, had a very good season and was maybe the only one surviving at front. But Silva is a hell of a player. I mean, the work that he does defensively, offensively, what he creates, and how he's able to think the game makes me think that he deserves a little bit more to be on Mark's 11. But I'm fine with Saka.
I have to disagree with Frank and Ali. Arsenal didn't lose the league because Odegaard and Martinelli and Saka stopped playing. They lost the league because they couldn't defend. The 3 games, look at the 3 games that they dropped points in. They scored 3, 2 and 2 in these games. So it's not about what they were doing going forward. It was about what they were doing defensively. So I think that's a little tough on Odegaard in particular.
What a lovely task for you to do, Mark.
Odegaard just said, I'm sorry, Dan, but Odegaard has said that he deserved to be there, The only problem with Arsenal is when a Frenchman is not there at Arsenal, it's a big mess. And it's always been. It's history. That's it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.